All right, sorry about that. We're having some technical difficulties. Instagram, check your shit. It keeps breaking on us. And that's a conscious person speaking that language right now because it is effing up my day. All right, get your Instagram on point. So what we were talking about here is how I came to find the Human Garage and why a lot of people have found it, which is pain, performance, looking at bettering their life. It was about 17 months ago that I moved to California from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, having be a personal trainer, a sought-after coach. I decided to move my family to the West Coast where I knew that I could find a strong clientele with a more open mind and more people that look at fitness and movement and health just as I look at it. And me and my buddy Hunter, we were actually working out at his ranch, Hunter McIntyre. What up, dog? Hope you're watching, because I'm talking about you right now. And he was like, man, I heard about this crazy place. I went in there. The guy stuck his finger in my mouth. And then he was like, hey, you're getting better already. Like, you feel this, you feel that. And he's like, is he full of shit? And he's like, I think he's full of shit. And I go, actually, what is this guy's number? Because he's not full of shit. And this sounds totally like something I need to check out. So I called up Gary Lineham at the Human Garage, which at the time maybe had 3 employees and 4 employees. And I went and checked it out. And Gary told me that normally if a personal trainer called him, he would hang up on him because we all view things in the same way. And I was like, I do agree with that. I would hang up on most personal trainers too. And he said that I saw things differently, in which I do. And I know there are a lot of us out there that see things differently, see things in a more holistic sense, a more conscious sense. An idea that we are connected from head to toe. And even between you and me, we're connected. And I knew that what Gary was saying could maybe help me because I was disconnected in certain ways. Through a lot of years of professional fighting, I felt closed off. And for the last 7 years, I've been trying to open up. Through a lot of trauma in my life, my brother passing away, literally fighting for my life in a cage as a professional fighter, I became closed. And through that emotional trauma that built up, I started having incredible neck pain, shoulder pain, and here I am, 35 years old. I'm physically gifted in so many ways, between martial arts to acrobatics to lifting heavy weight, and then sometimes getting out of bed it would hurt, or kissing my wife, and the quality of my life wasn't what I knew it should be for as much as the work that I put into it. So I was missing a piece. I'm not saying that piece is Human Garage, but it's a part of that piece, and it's getting a little bit more connected and with ourselves and what it's going to take to heal ourselves and to recover from what it is that we do. If it's working out, if it's stress at work, if it's an injury, if it's a really bad injury, how can you make yourself better if you have limited physical capacity? Well, sometimes it's just increasing range of motion, or maybe it's once that range of motion is increased, now you have the ability to apply strength in that range of motion. And the Human Garage, they didn't fall short on that promise. So for the last 17 months, I've been seeing Human Garage, and I've had an awesome opportunity to get an in-depth look at what it is that they're utilizing in their treatments, as far as focusing on the body and the posture and the pressure that is applied by this atmosphere in which we're living in, and how so many of us have kind of looked at physical therapy or release or massage in a sense that the pressure and the atmosphere and the gravity doesn't exist, but it does. And you have to take that into account for what it is that you're doing. Right now, as I'm sitting here, there's over 2,000 pounds of pressure holding me down to the ground and pushing my body together. And then they apply more pressure in the right areas to get the other areas to release and to open up. I'm not going to give you the other secrets because I'm not a practitioner. I don't even really totally understand it completely, other than the fact that I feel better. And Gary's a huge component of that. I mean, everything from walking inside and getting hugged by Sarah or, one of the other front desk girls. And, there's front desk guys too. I mean, this isn't, but, that's, it's so welcoming. And they have a great organized system. So many people, it's massage is like oh, come in because you're hurt. And then you leave, and you don't know what you hurt yourself with, and then you just keep coming back. Well, that's the system. It's broken, but we keep doing it. You know, we just keep reapplying the same system that's broken. It doesn't work that way. You can't just keep massaging the shit that you keep breaking, because eventually you're not going to be able to fix it. So they're kind of looking at how do we fix it, and then make sure that the movement that you go forward with is going to make sure that you don't hurt that thing that they just took care of, right? That's huge. So many of us put strength into dysfunction, and our dysfunction is so high that we don't even know where to apply strength anymore. So when I started going to the Human Garage, Gary told me I couldn't work out for a couple of weeks. I didn't really listen. I took the treatments, and I found myself getting like little injuries as I was working out with these treatments. And I'm like, ooh, maybe I actually should listen to what this guy said. They're opening up things and loosening things, and now I'm like deadlifting 450, and my back doesn't feel the same way. So I decided to take a little time off and go through the entire process. And what I found was I have less shoulder pain, less neck pain, less knee pain than I ever have in my life. And I'm 36 years old this month. I'm a dad of 2. I get less than 6 hours of sleep a night sometimes. I work ridiculously long days, and I put my body through total hell. And thanks to the Human Garage, I'm able to do it every day, and that's amazing. That's a great gift that Human Garage has been able to give a lot of people, and they're looking at ways to expand that. You know, they're bringing in more employees now. I don't even know how many employees do they have now.
56.
56. The girl behind the camera with the magical number. So 56 people. That's right. So 56. 56, that's a lot of employees. Look, that's a lot of people in less than 18 months of knowing Gary, that he's been able to build that type of staff in which that they see what he sees, and they're able to practice what they practice. And hey, we don't all like our boss, but we know and we respect what they know. And I know and respect, and I like Gary and everybody over at the Human Garage. So, and that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing this Instagram takeover today. I've shown you guys kind of what I do. You know, I wake up. You didn't get to see my home life, but I put on some essential oils. I do some skincare. I do my oil pulling. That's an important part. Detoxifying. And I drink my strong coffee. You guys are going to know about that real soon at the Human Garage. They've been sampling it and testing it, making sure that it fits their model of a product that they want to have in their space, and Gary loves it, and I'm excited about strong coffee and the prospects of what I can do to help a community become stronger with strong friends like you and everybody at the Human Garage. And if you guys have questions, fire them off, and I'd be happy to answer any questions, whether they're training, nutrition. If none of you start asking questions, I'm just going to take you inside Erewhon here, and we're going to go shopping, and I'm going to show you some really good foods and some cool shit that you may not be able to access wherever you are, maybe in Arkansas, Nebraska, right? Somewhere in the middle of the country where you're like, what does this Venice place have to do with me? It has to do everything with you, because it's full of, you can access this place. You can take a vacation here, and in 2 weeks, you could get the care that you need to go forward with a lifestyle you deserve. That's what we're all about, right? That's what they're all about. I don't actually work for the Human Garage. They were just like, hey, Adam, you have a good personality and you're a believer. We want you on this camera thing, and we want you to show people what you do and what a Human Garage advocate is all about. I'm about life. I'm about movement. I'm about quality. I'm about taking care of the people that are around me, which is truly why I'm doing this, because I truly believe in what everybody's doing there, and I want to make sure that everybody has clients rolling in every single day, and that's why I refer all my people to the Human Garage. Are there any questions? No questions. We're doing good. We're getting thumbs up. We're getting like all these things. So what we're going to do is we're going to go walk into Erewhon, and we'll talk a little bit about, you know, some proper nutrition. If you guys have any questions about the food that I show, the nutrition, that's great. Otherwise, you know, I'm just kind of talking to hear myself talk, which I could do for hours. But until then, let's go shoot inside. You guys follow me. Pretend I'm walking like this too, like MTV Cribs. Right? That's what I'm doing. MTV Cribs. Come on, follow me into my crib. I just walk like this.
Like what?
So Venice has an eclectic personality. Let's just say that. I don't think Human Garage could have started anywhere better than Venice, California, and that's why I chose to move here, because I have that same mindset. It's open. You gotta be open, right? You gotta be open to new things. Everything everybody's telling you that you should do. Well, if it's working, then why are we so sick, right? Why are we so hurt? It's the Band-Aid philosophy. It's no longer going to apply to me, and I hope it doesn't apply to you. So when it's not about what we're doing with our body, it's about what we're putting in our body. And no better place than to show what to put in our body than Erewhon.
Hey Adam, what do you think about avocados?
Avocados are great. Do you know that we kill over 5 billion avocados a year in America? Murder, right? So we love avocados, and avocados are great. They have we'll just make sure that we stop and talk so we don't get hit by a car while we're doing this. So avocados are great. So what they're going to do is they're going to give you a good amount of fat. They're delicious. They can be used in a lot of things. I actually like using them to thicken up a chocolate protein shake. If you freeze like a half of avocado, throw it in some almond milk, a little bit of ice, some peanut butter, and chocolate protein, it's absolutely delicious. The fats, though, you could get better sources of fat with different omega profiles in them, something like sardines and all these things. But when it really comes down to it, avocados are sexy, they're popular, and you should totally eat them. Just don't overdo it, right? On average, people should have about 70 to about 120 grams of fat a day. I know that seems like a lot. However, the low-fat, high-carbohydrate diet that we followed through the 70s and 80s and 90s sure didn't do us much justice. So make sure to check out more on ketogenic dieting. Not that you should be in ketosis, but there's some good knowledge to gain from understanding how ketogenic diets work. Organic grocery store. Everything in here is organic. It's not like Whole Foods where they talk about it. Everything in here is organic. If it's in here, it's good for you. That's what they say. However, like organic potato chips aren't good for you. So. Anybody know how to tell if a good watermelon? Right? Do you smell it? Nope. Do you hit it? That's not a good one. Nope. That's not a good one. Nope. Oh, that's a really bad one. So, oh, there we go. Nice and hollow. It's got a sweet smell. And, you know, if it's overly dense and it just makes a thud, then it's definitely not ready to eat. Now's the time to eat some fruits. We're going to get into a nice active season, spring and summer. And fructose is a great way to fuel your body. It doesn't work the same as normal sugars, as most people think. It doesn't actually convert into glucose the same way. So your body will readily use fructose far better than, say, like a refined sugar, right? So it's much better to reach for a piece of fruit. Fruit does not make you fat. Whoever is saying that, they're obviously selling something that is contrary to that idea, okay?
Hey Adam, should you be doing intermediate fasting with the keto diet?
Intermittent fasting, so what's funny is we kind of attach trends, right? So when we were eating, when everybody went paleo, a lot of people went paleo with like ketosis, right? They stopped eating carbohydrates and they just started eating a shitload of meat. They're not the same thing, right? Let's like separate the two. Intermittent fasting and ketosis, they're not the same thing. Like, stop combining them. Intermittent fasting can be done with carbohydrates, it can be done with fats, it can be done with proteins. I think intermittent fasting is great, but let's not forget like the semantics of the word breakfast, right? So if we're breaking fast, it's no matter what time of day it is, it's breakfast, right? So make sure you don't sound like a dummy and say like I don't eat breakfast, and like because you eat breakfast at noon, right? Any meal is breakfast. Intermittent fasting and ketogenic dieting, I mean, they work well. A ketosis diet should be used for a reason, right? Either you're severely overweight, you have epilepsy, you have an autoimmune disease, you have inflammatory disease, ketogenic diets are going to be amazing for that. Intermittent fasting is going to be great for overall mitochondria health, cellular production, gut health. Any of those things are going to, intermittent fasting is going to be great for that, but it's actually extremely important to know what to eat when you come out of the fast, right? To make sure that you're getting that you're getting proteins and that you're getting healthy fats and you're getting carbohydrates. If you're somebody that's very active and you're working out in the morning, making sure that you're supporting your muscle with some amino acids is a great way, and having a little bit of coffee can actually help the liver early in the morning with some overall ketone production. So intermittent fasting is awesome. Again, it's one of those things that you should use as a tool and not as a complete staple, as the greatest focus should be put on the macronutrients that you eat. Erewhon, they have one of the coolest hot bars. You'll generally find a lot of the people over from the Human Garage coming here, getting some lunch on the go, as our office is just on the location. Like I say, our office. I don't work for Human Garage. I say my office because I walk in there like I own the shit sometimes, because I love the place so much. So the hot bar here is amazing. All natural foods. I can walk you straight to the supplement aisle like most people are. But the reality of it is the greatest supplement is a good diet. So I walked over to the coconut water aisle for two reasons. One, we're extremely dehydrated as a society, right? 76% of us are dehydrated. 56% of us drink coffee. The other people that aren't drinking coffee are drinking soda and energy drinks. Shame on you. So when you really look at it, there's a correlation between caffeine and stress and dehydration. Right? People are highly stressed, they need more energy, therefore they reach for energy drinks, coffee, yada, yada, yada. The reality of it is, though, is we also need to be hydrated to help our bodies recover. And because we're not recovered, because of our dehydration, because of our lack of sleep, we're reaching for more coffee. Like 1 cup of coffee is good. You don't need 3 cups of coffee. Or you don't need 2 energy drinks. You don't need more of those, whatever those pills are. Put the Adderall down, step away from the prescriptions, and make sure that you're getting some good nutrition. The other thing is at the Human Garage, they have an exogenous ketone product. That ketone product, just like other exogenous ketone products, it's important to get some extra potassium when you're ingesting ketones, so it keeps your body regular and you don't dehydrate, right? Because you're taking in salts. So the overall levels of your sodium and your potassium need to be equaled out. So coconut water will help if you get any type of cramping when you're using exogenous ketone products. If you don't know that, well, now you know.
Hey, Adam.
Yep.
Are organic fruits actually better for you, or is that a myth?
Organic fruits are actually better for you. You know, some people are like, oh, if it's grown in the ground, that's like something you want to buy organic. There was a great study done that it was a family that ate completely organic and then for 30 days and then did not eat organic for 30 days, and their blood work was crazy different, right? So there is definitely something to be said about atmospheric contaminants, let's call it, right? So if a food has pesticides in it, that pesticide has xenoestrogens and other things in it that I can't even pronounce, and you don't need to know other than the fact that they're not good for you, right? So they're killing proper gut bacteria in their stomach. They can cause, esophageal issues. So when you're really looking at, hello,
hey, how are you?
I'm good. So when you're really looking at organic fruits and vegetables, I think it's more important to eat organic than it is to eat more food, right? Because the better quality food, the less you have to eat of it because your body will absorb more, right? We don't need to eat more calories, we need to eat more quality. So organic is definitely a huge thing. I mean, let's put it this way. I don't give myself or my kids or my wife anything that's not organic. and we barely can afford it, but I make it an important value in our structure to make sure that it's organic, which really limits us from eating out. But you know what? That also saves us money. Speaking of organic fruits, let's go check them out. So my favorite fruits are berries, because berries are like dessert, one, and two, they're also some of the lowest on the overall glucose impact level. So I like to eat things in the sense of quantity, right? So I'm a bigger guy, I'm 205 pounds, and sometimes like I eat a lot, but not as much as people would think. So it's hard for me sometimes though, because I am so hungry, that I want to eat more volume. So say for like nuts, for instance, if I want to eat more volume of nuts, I would choose pistachios over almonds, right? So like 12 almonds is the equivalent of like 20 pistachios. So I'd rather have 20 pistachios because I know I'm just eating more and chewing more, which is going to help satiate my brain and get those chemicals and those juices flowing. Well, berries are very similar. You can have a lot more berries. You can have a lot more consistency too with berries, where you can have some blackberries, some blueberries, some strawberries, some raspberries, all in a bowl, and it still only is the equivalent of a single apple. Right, and that's nice. Again, I'm not saying like you have to monitor your overall fruit intake, but if you are somebody that's focusing on your macros, you can only have so much fruit, only so much rice, only so many grains, or so many sweet potatoes, or whatever it is, if you want to maintain a lean body mass and make sure that your health stays in check. So berries are the shit. One of the coolest things I really enjoy eating, one of my favorite foods as far as vegetables, are cauliflower and broccoli.
Hey Adam.
Yes.
What's your opinion on food sensitivity tests?
Food sensitivity test. I think it's crucial. I have not been able to do it yet myself. However, I've ran a lot of tests on myself through process of elimination. So if you don't maybe have access to food sensitivity tests, which are getting cheaper and cheaper, I don't know if that means that they're getting more accurate, but you could do a process of elimination where you can eat a very neutral-based diet, find the lowest percentage food sensitivity, so say like grass-fed beef and some vegetables, some baseline foods, and add certain things and take away certain things. But you can't take away a bunch of things at once or add a bunch of things at once. You have to do it very systematically. Really down when it comes down to it, spend the $300, get a food sensitivity test. It's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache and a lot of farting. So, cauliflower, a lot of people are like, oh, cruciferous vegetables, green, eat green. I mean, green is good, don't get me wrong, but the colors are important. It's important to have a variance of colors in your diet. One of the things I learned from a friend of mine who's from India told me, eat the rainbow, right? Because the rainbow is going to give you such a plethora of antioxidants and different micronutrients that you wouldn't somehow get. We live in such a crazy time that we have access to so many fruits and so many vegetables at once that if we say lived in Venice, California 100, 200 years ago, we maybe have access to 10% of what I see here right now. I mean, I don't know where they're growing some of this shit in the middle of winter in Wisconsin, right? So I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and having access to local fresh foods, I mean, we got really limited in the winter if we wanted to be local and fresh, to be broccoli and cauliflower because they can grow them in ice or something, I guess. I don't know. So broccoli, cauliflower, zucchinis, these are all very colorful. These peppers, just beautiful. And when you snap open one of these things, they're so fresh, they're so clean that you'll be satisfied in so many ways. So say you're somebody that's sitting at home, oh, this is easy for you. I have a sweet tooth. I have a sweet tooth, right? I have to stop myself from eating Reese's peanut butter cups because I know how good they taste, but it's a lie, right? I knew that. And eventually I got away from the lie, and now when I bite into these things, I'm like, oh my God, it's so delicious, it's so sweet, right? Where I grew up in a family that we had dessert after every dinner. There was bread with everything. And again, carbohydrates aren't a problem, but bread is a refined grain. put down the bread, unless it's sourdough. Sourdough, I give a pass on, right? But every other bread, even sprouted bread is actually higher in gluten. So I learned that from Nora Gagadius. Thank you, Nora. I thought I was doing a justice to my family. I'm serving them all sprouted food and sprouted grains and Ezekiel bread, and to come to find out that the percentage of gluten in sprouted grains are higher. So I don't need more gluten in my diet, I can tell you that. So these are the veggies. Now let's go and check out what everybody always wants to know about, which is supplements. What supplements can I take to get better? None. You're better, and then you take supplements. Let's go.
Hey, Adam.
Yes.
What do you think about veganism?
Do you want me to offend people here or not offend people? Okay, so, yeah, offend. So don't do it. The reason why is inherently, we did not get here by only eating vegetables. And I think that we've done pretty good as a society, right? So when you look at vegetable proteins that a lot of people that are vegans have to take, or all the supplements, show me when in history that was ever available to you, right? Show me when in history, prior to the last 20 years of agriculture and science and shipping things all over the world, that we have ever been able to have 5 different sources of vegetables to complete one protein profile. So vegetables, although they have protein, they don't have a complete amino acid profile like, say, a piece of beef or a piece of salmon or a piece of chicken. I look at meat as a supplement, right? So if I have a high activity day and I'm working out and this and that, which is almost every day, I need the fats, I need the proteins, I need the micros and the macronutrients that are in meats and in vegetables. So what I tell people that are interested in being vegan is, I say, eat a vegan diet and supplement with meat. Like, how much protein do you need to supplement for your lean body mass, for your energy? My friend Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, who is a vitality and protein and muscle specialist, talks very highly of protein intake, and she's somebody who I completely trust and I believe her, and I know in myself when I have a higher protein intake, I have a healthier look, a leaner mass, and overall more energy. I know that there's protein sparings and all these other things, but again, like I said, eat for your lifestyle. So if you're super active and you're working out, you're doing CrossFit, you're getting this, you're going into the beach, you're doing that, like, you need some meat in your life. I get, people can argue with me on this, but the reality of it is, the smartest people I know in the world that study nutrition and that have scientific labs that can break these things down, do muscle biopsy tests, they say the best source of protein is still meat. Simple. And you need protein. You need protein. They have anything to say on that?
Yeah, they're asking, what's your opinion on a supplement called ashwagandha?
Ashwagandha. You know, so ashwagandha is interesting. In the last 2 years, adaptogens have become very popular. Okay, so ashwagandha, Rhodiola rosea, you know, all the mushrooms that are coming out, cordyceps, chaga, maca. These are all adaptogenic herbs and plants. I think that adaptogens are great. However, they need to be treated as medicine. We recently have discovered the ability to take from an indigenous plant and quantify the process and make it accessible to everybody. That was never a thing. In these indigenous areas in which that they used maca and they use these things, they use them for rituals, they use them for healing, they use them before they went to war, they use them for the right reasons. Right now we're just taking them every day kind of as it's a supplement, right? It's not a supplement. It is a supplement, it's not a staple, right? So use it for when you need it and make sure that you're cycling on and off of it. Things like maca are so powerful, they can honestly disrupt your overall hormone balance. Ashwagandha is great for overall like energy and some hormonal balance, but again, do you need it? I don't know. Does it work for you? I don't know. You don't know. So you're just taking things. Maybe like, I don't know, I broke my toe. Take some ibuprofen. Well, yeah, it'll help the healing, but it won't help the toe not be broken anymore. I mean, it'll help the pain, but it won't help the toe be broken anymore. So we have to make sure that we're taking the right stuff and not just putting these like huge band-aids over everything. Let's go look at some ashwagandha. So it's interesting. You'll see a lot of things in these aisles. Hey, my oil pulling mouthwash that I actually use at home. This is great. It's used as MCT oil as well as clove and mint. And there's some fresh rose oil. So there's 3 essential oils in there along with MCT oil and some grass-fed ghee. I oil pull in my mouth for about 30 minutes with this. The dirt, you can find this at Erewhon, obviously, as well as vitamin shops all over the country. I happen to be good friends with the owners of this company, which is why I fully trust the product. Hi, Shannon, Yogananda. Thank you guys for making this awesome product. They also have a really great toothpaste. This is the toothpaste my kids brush their teeth with. I want to make sure that they're not getting fluoride and some of these like glycates that you find in toothpaste. They're not good for us. We don't need them. If I could help you, I would. Oh. Here's a popular one a lot of people are talking about, activated charcoal. So activated charcoal is great. However, again, one of those things that you should use when the time is right, just like an adaptogenic herb like ashwagandha or anything. So if you're using something like activated charcoal, you have to understand that the charcoal itself detoxifies the body. So that means that it doesn't know exactly what toxins are good and bad, right? So if you're taking, say, prescription medications or certain supplements, the charcoal itself could actually strip away the positive nutrients or the effects of that and actually change it, and you'll just poop it out, right? So be careful about that. Little simple thing to do with activated charcoal too, though, you can brush your teeth with it. It works awesome for that, helps with digestion, helps with jet lag, helps with a lot of things. You just got to make sure that you're taking it at the right time. Again, supplements, not staples. It's fine. Probiotics, powered difference, right? So, I like this one. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. That's good marketing. Don't trust your gut, though. Do some damn research, right? Not saying that this product is a problem, but don't trust your gut when it comes to the idea of like knowing what's right, right? You don't want to just give in to good marketing. It's easy to do that. So when you're looking at a good probiotic, you want to make sure that they're active live cultures. One of the best ways to do that is to actually buy one in the refrigerator section. So when I look at something like Jarro's, they have a great probiotic, prebiotic blend. These are active live cultures. They have to stay in the refrigerator for a reason, because the positive probiotics versus the antibiotics are a living organism, and they're going to get into your gut and overall help you to heal and digest food. Yep, of course. And when we were in most recent times, they've discovered that our DNA in our body, 90% of it, 10% of it is only our human DNA, right? 90% of the DNA that we have in our body is actually derived from bacteria in our gut. And because of our diets are lacking in certain resistant starches, we recently have, in the last 20, 50, 60 years, have started having serious gut biome issues. Oh, it's okay. And overall gut biome issues that are causing a lot of other serious health issues, like your energy issues, your overall things like cancer, right? If we're not digesting foods, if we're not breaking things down, we're causing cellular problems, okay? So digestion is everything. How you break food down, how you absorb food is everything. We are what we eat. That is true. Whatever like teacher told us that when we were like 2nd or 3rd grade, we are what we eat. That is totally true. All right? Unless you eat chicken. If you eat chicken, you're not a chicken. That's how it is. It's fine today. ashwagandha in which we speak of. I know it's here somewhere. The man is thinking. Well, I see Rhodolia here. So this is a similar product like ashwagandha. Rhodolia rosea is not going to help you as much in the hormonal side, but this is an awesome anti-stress adaptogen that is something that you can use. Again, you have to make sure that you're using it for the right reasons. If you have stress, if you have anxiety, this is a great thing. But then you also want to find how do you manage that stress and anxiety without the supplement, right? Because a supplement is only there for you to take care of you in a time of need, but you shouldn't always be in need, right? You should figure out how to get some of these things more under control and mitigate some of the stresses in your life. And that will help overall take the anxiety.
Hey Adam, so should fish oil supplements be refrigerated and used fresh?
They have done a lot of shelf stable. They have done a lot of shelf stable fish oils. I would venture to say that a very large percentage of fish oils are rancid, and that the omega-3s, let's just say I would choose refrigerated ones, right? Because in my opinion, something that is fish should probably be refrigerated. It is derived from fat, so I understand that fats can be shelf stable and all this and that. But if your pill is under direct sunlight exposure, like these bottles, this bottle is not black. There's light that comes through this, right? So if this is a fat-soluble thing, and if this has fats in it itself, and it's being beaten on by the sun, it's not good, right? It's just like olive oil should be in a black bottle, not a light green one where like it can be seen through. So when you're looking at fish oils, it's really good to make sure that they're in a sealed, sunlight-proof, like these guys over here. These are great omegas. The Barleans, these are one of my favorites. Obviously, it's completely opaque, right? It's 100% opaque. There's no sunlight getting through this. It's refrigerated from the minute they ship it out to the minute they get it here in refrigerated trucks. And the stuff tastes really good. They have flavored ones. My kids love the strawberry banana one. Super easy to get my kids to eat this stuff, which is great. It also tastes really good in a smoothie. But yeah, fish oils, you should probably refrigerate them. I mean, we're talking about whole foods, we're talking about natural things. I think it's a lot more natural if something that has the word fish in it is refrigerated. It's not natural if it's not refrigerated, in my opinion. Deodorant, that's an important one. So, deodorant is a huge one, right? Because actually, let's just say topical skin stuff, right? Anything we're putting on our skin, deodorant is something that apparently, like in the last 100 years, we're all supposed to smell good all the time. No matter what we're doing in our life, we're just supposed to smell good. So, and we're also not supposed to sweat ever. Sweating is not sexy. Don't do it, right? So other companies have made these things that have high accounts of aluminum dioxides and all these very heavy metals that absorb through the follicle, through the follicle of your skin, right? So when we're looking at something like a deodorant, I think that if you're not going to put organic food in your body, at least use organic skin treatments. And use better deodorants, because our body is very susceptible to the absorption of heavy metals, and we're already ingesting a lot of them, and we're already breathing a lot of them in. We don't need to be putting them on ourselves, and that's why like Bare Minerals, they have the makeup. They have a great marketing thing, like, oh, it's Bare Minerals. Well, like pretty much all makeup is mineral based. It's just, I want to know, does it have heavy metals in it? That would be a more accurate thing. And any of these deodorants here, I use this one. Technically, I use Sugar Mint, but I use these. Aluminum free. I'm very proud to say that, and baking soda free. Obviously, there's a reason why they're happy for that.
Let's go over here. Have you ever heard of hydrolyzed collagen?
Yes. Yeah, hydrolyzed collagen is great. It usually comes from type 1 or type 2 Bovine, grass-fed is extremely important in this scenario. When we're looking at collagen, collagen is great. A lot of people want to tout the idea that it's great for the muscles and for the connective tissue and for the skin. It's good for two of those three. The connective tissue and the skin, it's amazing for hair, nails, all that stuff. It's really good for that. However, the collagen protein is not a complete amino acid profile. It's missing a very essential amino acid called L-tryptophan. While creating the Strong Coffee Company product that has collagen in it, it was important for me to complete when I was formulating it, was to complete the amino profile and make sure to put the appropriate amount of L-tryptophan in it so the body could actually get the anabolic effects of ingesting protein with a complete amino profile that will support lean body mass as well as connective tissue and joint health. So the answer to your question, is collagen good for you? Totally. Put it in your coffee. You can put it in tea. You can put it in your gravy at home to help thicken it. I actually use sometimes gelatin-based collagen, and I'll mash it with bananas, and I'll throw it in a pie tin, and I can make banana like cream pie with nothing but banana and collagen and like a nut crust, right? And maybe Human Garage and I can share that recipe. It's really good. It's a high protein. It's a good recovery. I call it recovery pie, right? Because it's good glucose. It has a good amount of sugars, a good amount of proteins, and it tastes awesome. Let's go check out one more thing before we get out of here. Bone broth. Bone broth has collagen in it, and that's why collagen has become so popular. Before we get to bone broth, let's talk about water. Before I talked about how 76% of all Americans are dehydrated. How can we be dehydrated when there's water all around us? Literally all around us, right? The world is mainly water. So how can we be dehydrated? You drink a lot of water? That's great. Does your water have electrolytes? Yeah. So that's the problem. The more water we drink, the more dehydrated we can become, actually. Because our water is desalinated and completely demineralized through processing, we lose out on some of the biggest benefits of water. So we're drinking more fluids and we're diluting the overall level of important things like potassium, magnesium, sodium, all these things. So when I look for water, I'm always looking for some water with electrolytes. So something like Essentia, they're using regular water, they're putting electrolytes in it, as well as like pH balance. The pH of water is super important. The pH of the water can actually increase the overall pH of your body. But one of the other things that's really big about proper water intake is that evolutionary wise, we can't drink from like still water. Like drinking from a lake that has no movement was not something that we did as much as, say, something like a rock, right? Is a river. So as the water flowed through the river, it tumultuated the water, and it actually changes the structure of the water, and it's called the ORAC value, right? So the oxygen absorption, the OR value, oxygen absorption rate. So when you're looking at the ability for the water to absorb, there's actually another thing that you can do to your water if you're really looking to up your game in life, and that's to get a water restructuring tool, or you can make one. So at home, I took a PVC pipe and I put crystals in it, and I put a cap on both ends with a hole in it. And what I do is I run the water through the PVC pipe, and it splashes around by hitting the rocks and stuff inside of it, the crystals, and then the water pours out the other end, and the water is restructured. A good friend of mine, Darren Olean, who is a raw food specialist and actually a vegan. Don't tell him I was talking shit about vegans earlier. But he told me all about the importance of restructuring water, and it's really changed my game. The minute that I drink restructured water, I feel it absorb so much more because it increases the oxygen in each cell of the water. So that's an awesome thing.
Is increased pH water really good for you, or would it be better to take apple cider vinegar instead?
It depends. If you're priming your stomach for ingesting food, apple cider vinegar cannot be, like, you're not going to get enough pH water that apple cider vinegar could do for you. So I like to use apple cider vinegar about a half hour before I eat my meals, and I do it about 2 to 3 times a day, and I actually combine it with water. pH balanced water is not going to necessarily change your overall pH levels. Like, it's not going to make them go up, but negative water could get your pH to go down, and we're already down, right? So this is a cumulative effort, so the more pH that we can take in, the better. However, we need our stomach acid, right? We don't want to drink high pH water while we're eating our meal, because we need that stomach acid to actually break down the food. And that's what's great about apple cider vinegar, is it gets the stomach acid going in a way that's really good. It's all right. It's all right. Come on back. So, like I said, last but not least, bone broth, right? This overall section is a really nice selection versus a lot of other grocery stores where you'll normally find, say, bone broth that says bone broth on the package, right? But you have to be careful, because a lot of things that say bone broth on it don't actually have, it's not actually real bone broth. They use stock, which is a flavoring, and water, right? When you're looking for real bone broth, I was literally just talking about...
Are you doing a video right now?
We are doing an instant... Come on over here. Hey!
I'm parting with my glasses.
No, it's
How
all
are you
right. I'm
doing?
so good. I'm so good. Say hi to everybody at the Human Garage.
Hi.
This
I'm
is-
in workout clothes right now, so I guess that's appropriate.
This is Liza. She is a superstar actress on one of my favorite shows on Hulu at this moment. I just binge watched the first season.
Thank you.
And it got picked up.
Yeah, second season. We start next month.
That's amazing. Tell everybody in 5 seconds about it.
It's Future Man. It makes no sense. You just have to watch it.
You
It's
have to
time
watch it.
travel.
She
It's time
looks
travel.
super hot as a superhero.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is it. That wraps it up. Human Garage. That was your takeover. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Take it easy.
Nice.
So
How
good
are
to
you?